great day so far.
Yeah. Just keeping up with the hot weather here in Spain.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit cold here as well. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for making yourself available for this meeting. I really appreciate it. So,
No, thank you for
regard-
inviting me to the interview.
okay. So regarding this meeting, it will be an interview format and will take approximately 20 to 25 minutes. I hope it's okay with you.
Yeah.
So thank you. So the purpose of this interview project is to gather data for professionals like yourself, and then to analyze it with a view to publishing the results in the form of a book. Yeah.
Okay.
Which might be named as 10 lessons from 100 interviews.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Okay. So I will share my screen as and when required, and please consider that the questions that are asked, they will be on behalf of my age group, which is around 11 to 13 years old. So
Okay.
do you have a question before we begin?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. So here's the agenda for today. It's mainly spread into 3 sections. In the first section, there'll be some questions asked, followed by a personality check in the middle, which is a first fun activity and something for you to take away. And lastly, some suggestion and advice questions from you, of course. So I hope you're as excited as I am. So let's begin. So just to begin with, could you please briefly describe what your role is professionally?
I'm a database programmer at the Royal Marsden Hospital. I'm basically programming databases for clinicians to complete data, which is later analyzed, and we are allowing them to give some informed decisions on how to best treat cancer patients.
That sounds interesting. Thank you. So, does anything interesting happen in your job?
Sorry, the sound is not very clear. Would you mind repeating that question, please?
So, does anything interesting happen in your job?
It depends on what you consider as exciting. I mean, probably most people will not consider exciting, I don't know, just figuring out how to deliver data in a specific way that it makes more sense. But I find it interesting, at least. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting things if you like the things that you're doing.
Thank you. So, now I'm interested to know what hobbies you enjoy. Are there any in particular?
Sorry, say that again.
I'm interested to know which hobbies you enjoy. Are there any hobbies you enjoy in particular?
Oh, I have so many hobbies. Yeah, I think probably everyone is playing video games these days, right? Everyone plays video games. I like video games. I like art. I like music. It's just normal stuff, like cinema. I like listening to some YouTube channels. There are a few quite interesting ones.
So, could you please? So, obviously these are the 3. I'm also doing a bit of art, and I'm also playing a video game. It's actually a very exercising video game, but it's very fun as well. So it's a sports kind of game. So it's where you have to stand up. There's a sensor. You have to be sensed by it. Then there are like different sports you can play, maybe like tennis, soccer, like that. There are many interesting ones, and then you can slowly upgrade to be better at it.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. I haven't heard about that one. I'm probably in sports. I think I'm probably quite focused on basketball. I don't happen to like many other sports outside of basketball.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. Do you have a soft skill that you're very glad to have?
What? Sorry? Soft skill.
A soft skill, maybe like communication or teamwork?
Not really. I think for that type of job that I'm doing. We're probably more focused on understanding how data works, how machine works. So yeah, of course, you have to work with a team, and sometimes you wish, okay, probably in that meeting, I should have done this, should have done that. This always happens. Yeah, I don't think there's anything kind of lacking.
Okay. So now this question that I'm going to ask, it's still based on skills. So is there a skill that you really wished you had?
Not really. I think if I were doing a different job, there are many skills. I would probably say, okay, I wish I could do this in a better way. But not really. No.
There's no skill that you really
I
wished you
think
had.
probably some more people are better at negotiating. But it's not something I really.
Okay, then that's good. If you don't really wish you had any other skill, it's just everyone always has scope of improvement.
No, not really. It's just I mean, we all are. We all have our own characters. So you just try to fit your character with what suits you best. So I would say if there are a few skills that do not match your characters, like then there will be some like there will be some mismatch. But at least that's my opinion.
Okay. I think that's a very good one. So moving on from skills to advice, is there a piece of advice that you have been given and you were very glad to have followed it?
I think the main advice I've always kept in mind is just trying to make world, the whole world or life or whatever your immediate environment something better than what you found when you got there. So I've been trying to keep that in mind. I mean, the other thing I would say that I always keep in mind is trying to learn every day something new.
Yeah,
This is something that I would definitely advise everyone to follow. I mean, it's just keeping up this curiosity. You don't have to go to university, but just keep an open mind. Just be curious about how or why are things happening in the world the way they are happening.
definitely. I think that's a very good one. Try to learn anything every day because I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just keep your mind active. Don't let
Yeah.
it sleep too much.
Okay. So now this one is also based on the first one, a piece of advice. So is there a piece of advice that has been given to you, but you really wished you had followed it?
Not really. If anyone said that, I've long forgotten. There's no chance I could remember that. Um, no, no. I mean, remember some people telling me a long time ago, you should do this, you should do that, and to be honest, I don't regret not following it.
Okay. I think that's very good because there's no piece of advice I haven't followed.
No, like I said, it's just take whatever suits your character.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, eventually it will become a burden and it will drop anyway.
Mm-hmm. So just before we move on to the personality check, could you please try to describe yourself with 3 words?
I would probably say curious,
Mm-hmm.
honest, and reasonably friendly. That's probably more than 3 words.
Okay. So could you please describe why you use these 3 words?
Oh, they were the first that came to mind. I can't spend too much time thinking about that. Um, yeah, it's because if I were, yeah, just the first thing came to mind. I think if I were to describe myself with a few words, I would probably just start by using those.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So moving on now, is there? So I think those words are very good to use. So now we'll move on to the personality track, and if you ask me, it's probably the most fun part in this whole interview. So there aren't any right or wrong answers, and if you feel that there are any hard questions, feel free to skip them. So can you please put the following 5 animals in the order of your preference?
Um, okay, it will be I don't know. Let's say horse, pig, cow, sheep, and tiger.
Okay. So now this will tell like your so this will tell what order and what your priorities are in your life. Yes. So because you said that the horse was your first priority, so um family was first. So your first is family, then money, then your job, then you said the sheep, then love, and then your pride. I think that's a very good option actually, because you should always keep your pride last.
Yeah, kind of makes sense, I guess.
It's just something that I have created based on what most of the people that I've interviewed have said.
Um,
Yes?
Probably, but it's something. But to be honest, I've never believed on that.
Yeah, sure. So can you please tell me a word that you will use to describe each one of the following? Starting with the dog, please.
Um, hmm. Okay, for dog, I would say friendly. For cat, independent. For rat, I would probably say dirty. See, I will go for the obvious. I would say wet.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So here, um, so this will describe personalities. So because you said yourself, so dog means yourself. So because you said friendly, you're friendly. Yes.
I would like to think so, but probably you would like to ask my friends.
Yeah. And then your partner is independent. Your enemy is dirty, and your life is wet.
That sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, it's very hot here in Spain, so yeah, we're
Mm.
all sweating so in a sense.
So we have now finished the second section, and we'll move on to the third section, which is the suggestion and advice section. So, from your personal experience, if you would like to give a piece of advice to children, what advice do you think you should give to them that they should follow?
Well, you always have the obvious, and I think probably you've some other people you've interviewed already told you many of the obvious. I'll probably go back to what I said earlier. Just keep up your curiosity. Just try to learn something new every day. Because you can go to many schools and many universities, but in none of those places they're going to give you that curiosity of trying to understand what's going on with the world,
Mhm.
why things are working the way they are. That's something that you have to have inside yourself. So as a kid, it's probably easier because in a way you're learning about the world. But as you grow older, many people just lose this type of flexibility to understand new things or try to investigate why things happen.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, like investigate, ask questions.
Yeah, just be curious. Just reach out, investigate. Just try to find out why things are the way they are.
Definitely, I think that's a very good piece of advice. Learn and investigate. Cool. So, following on, is there a piece of advice you should give to children that they shouldn't do?
They shouldn't do. Oops, I think something's frozen now. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, sorry, my internet had got cut off.
Oh, okay.
So, is there a piece of advice you should give to children that they shouldn't do?
I would say another of the obvious ones, just do not believe everything you read on the internet.
Mm-hmm. So, not misbehaving on the internet. I think that's something that you shouldn't really do. And I think you got it right. You shouldn't be misbehave on the internet. Bad things can happen. Definitely.
I would say just do not believe everything because you never know who's on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you for all your answers. We have now completed the third section of this interview. And if you want, should I ask you some bonus questions as well?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So, have you done something before that had got you into trouble? If so, could you please tell me a time?
Sorry, but done what?
So, have you done something that had got you into trouble?
Not really, no.
No?
No,
Cool.
quite well behaved.
Okay. So, have you
So,
done something? So, can you please share a word that you would use to describe my mum with?
sorry?
So,
Oh,
could you
you're
share a word to describe my mum with?
efficiency.
And moving on, is there something that you did but you didn't get into trouble for, but you think you should have?
I think I'm going to turn off the video because the sound is not very clear. You have the
Okay.
video on. Okay, could you mind repeating your last question?
Yeah, sure. So, have you done something that you did and you didn't get into trouble for, but you think
No,
you should have
not
got into
really.
trouble for? No? Okay.
No, that has been quite boring.
So, thank you for all your answers. We have now completed the third section of this interview. So, just to conclude, could I please request you one thing that you have liked about this interview?
Um, I think it's just quite complete. You're doing a good job. It's been quite extensive.
Thank you. And if I just for the scope of improvement, if I had to change something in this, what do you think I should change?
I'm not totally sure about how useful are those personality checks, but they're good fun. So I would probably just keep them. But probably might want to push in a specific direction. Otherwise, it seems like it's just taking a little bit of everything, just not much of anything. specific. I would say probably just a bit more focused.
Thank you. I'll note on that. So thank you for all your time today. And as a token of our appreciation, I would like to present you with, this certificate for taking part in my interview project.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'll email it to you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.